Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
And good evening, everybody. I am R.J. Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com, Chief Cook and Bottle Washer, and pretty much the guy who does most of the work around here. Yeah, including this. But this is the part that's fun because I get to talk to all those people out there who are creating new comic books that aren't coming out of the big two churning factories that make us read the same thing over and over and slowly spiral downhill like a you-know-what going down a you-know-where. Because let's face it, that's what we've watched these past 2 going on 3 years now with comics. Crowdfunding, though, has come along to save us from the despair of watching this happen to comics. In fact, I've often said, and I still stand by it, that the crowdfunding concept has been a renaissance for the comic industry. So let the big 2 giant dead trees fall. There's an entire orchard out here that's been overshadowed all this time of new creators who got things to say. And one of them is joining us tonight. We would like to welcome Jerry Brown to the show. Jerry, welcome to the show.
Hey man, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be able to talk about EVERMATTER.
Now, I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that you probably have very little experience governing California.
I have very little experience with California in any way.
In general. and happy to be so, I'm sure.
Yeah. So,
but you are working on developing a comic book now. How long have you had the idea to do a comic book? I mean, why would you want to do one?
Okay, first of all, EVERMATTER started as a novel, and then as I got to writing that novel, I realized that it's a limited medium. So I decided to start, looking around, and I was thinking, about crowdfunding a movie actually, but then you start thinking about the cost of that, and you're like, don't know nobody. Who am I? People aren't really gonna give that much money, I don't think. And then I started. Then I was like, hey man, I got all these comics in here. Let's look at these. And I started looking through some of my old comics and stuff, and I was like, this would fit EVERMATTER perfectly because the novel idea, it just didn't work for the story really, because I had these characters in mind. I knew what I wanted them to look like. I knew what I wanted people to see them as. In a novel, the author kind of leaves that up to the reader's imagination, Right. So it's a lot more of a visual medium. So that's why I decided to go the comic book route.
Now, you said you had old comics. You've been a comic collector for some time, or did you?
Not necessarily a collector. I pick up some Conan every now and then, and some Avengers. But I lost my. I had several of the ElfQuest trades, but I lost them in a flood.
Oh, the ElfQuests were great.
Yeah, and. I don't know what book they're up to now, because when I lost mine, I just kind of quit keeping up with it, but they were still, whenever our house flooded, they were still writing. They're still producing books. So I have 4 or 5 trades,
Yeah, I don't know if they're still producing it. I had heard from a local comic shop guy who was on top of stuff like that. So I'm sure it's true, but I don't want to repeat it word for word. But basically, they ran into an issue with one of their issues. And I guess it was one of the younger looking elves or one of the younger elves that did something very adult, and it caught the attention of people.
Yeah.
And this was pre-cancel culture, so it had to have been really egregious to get somebody's ire.
Well, those books were pretty risque anyway.
They were.
They had some scenes that were like you throw the cover over your head and hope your mom and dad didn't walk in or whatever. You're reading them, but
yeah, it was a very. I'm not gonna say it was an adult book because that has its own connotations. But it was definitely had mature concepts in it.
Yeah, there were some sensual moments in it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Now, does that influence how you write your comic book? I mean, is EVERMATTER conscript more of an all ages, everybody can read it, or is it, hey, I'm really targeting the upper
It's really more of a PG because it has some gore, and it has some not really graphic gore, like realistic gore. Obviously because of the art style that you'll see in a minute, but it has some gore, has a decapitation, it has a cuss word in it. So I guess it would be PG, maybe PG-13.
Yeah.
But I really hadn't. The relationships in book one haven't developed to the point of anything sensual or anything like that. So I haven't really got to that point. I haven't crossed that bridge yet. I do have book two written. I have the outlines for 3, 4, and 5, but I haven't actually put those down into a script yet.
Let's throw this up here. How much of book one do you have finished? I mean, once it gets to the finished backing stage, I mean, what all has to be done on it physically?
Okay, I have all of the art. All of the art for the 32 pages of book one is completed. I have all of the. I've got the cover, and then I've got Eric Weathers is working on the lettering right now. I've got some edits I got to get to him. I haven't had because of the ice and everything that we've had. I hadn't been able to get the edits that I need to get to him so he can finish his lettering. But it's just about finished. All that's left would be pre-press and some editing. Just to do the final editing on the
right.
make sure they
Yeah, this is ready to go then. I mean, you got professional people on it. You're throwing Eric Weathers' name out there. I was like, okay, my ears just perked up.
Yeah.
This guy's not doing it out of the back of his garage here.
And I think Carlos's art speaks for itself. As far as professionalism goes, and he has been professional. He is just right on point. He's hit every deadline. I mean, he is just he's a great artist to work with. I can't say enough good about him.
Now, looking at here, you got 18 days left on the campaign. Is that your first 30 days, or you got another 30 that you can go into after this?
That is my first 30 days.
Okay.
So I have another 30, and
I've made some, but let's not rely on it, folks.
Yeah. I've made some changes to the book as well. So to the campaign because I got talking with a good friend of mine that's done several campaigns. And he was telling me, you're really just not getting the value for your money with the 32 pages. So what I did is I've added 6 pages from book 2, and I've added a pinup gallery, and I've added some production art to get that page count on up to 48 pages. So you're getting the people that have already backed are getting a better value than they thought they would, and the future backers are getting a great value, I believe.
I was going to say $15 for the 32-page book. I guess, I've seen it between 10 to 12. 15 is probably not out of line with anything. It depends on what your shipping is. If the shipping comes out to be like $20, then
yeah. Well, the shipping domestic I've got at $10, and then the shipping international I have at $20.
There you go.
And then every perk comes with a digital copy.
Oh, that's good. That's good because you can take it wherever you want then.
I have some friends that asked for that specifically, so I went ahead and there was no reason not to, so I went ahead and threw it in there.
Well, you've got a video trailer on here, so and videos have become very important parts of Indiegogos. I've found out people are really putting effort into. It's not just hey, here's a picture of the cover anymore. It's we're going to give you a mini movie based on the art.
Yeah, they're very important, and people actually comment. They go to these campaigns just looking at the trailers. I found out, so there's people that actually just like looking at the trailers and commenting on the trailers.
Well, let's give it full screen here and give it a play. See what this thing. See how this one screens for us.
Okay.
The Council of Vines has grown arrogant. The power and wisdom of the Tooth of Danann has gone unchallenged for millennia. Peace has lured them into a deep sea of complacency, but it's always there, lurking, waiting, just outside the light, building, growing, anticipating. Evil never gives up. The lust for power, it will return. And when it does, It will have to go through me. I am Bind Kira. The spirit of Eru lives within me. I watched Balor fall to the hand of Lu as my world was destroyed. I fight for the Council of Binds. I fight for the Tukadana. I fight for what remains my world. I fight for my people. But most of all, I fight for revenge.
Very, very well done there. A lot of animation.
Thank you.
Did you hire a voice actress to do that?
I did. I hired a voice actress from Fiverr, which she did an amazing job on that too. She's actually got she's from Ireland. She has a true Irish accent, which is very important to Kira's character, and she knocked it out of the park. We went over the Tooth Day Dana. It's kind of when it's written, it's kind of hard to pronounce. If you're just looking at it, but we went over some of the words that are in the campaign so that they were pronounced right, and she hit it just like that.
You know what? People give Fiverr a bad rap for the voice acting. Usually the pro voice actors are the ones doing that. But that intro that you saw when we came on with the little trails of smoke, that was a Fiverr voice actress who did that for us.
Yeah.
And I've been using that for years and been happy with it. In fact, I've got one other one here. I usually save it for when we had the British guests on. It goes like
Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
Just to make them feel a little more at home when they come on,
Yeah, they're very reasonable. They're fair, and you get what you pay for. So if you go the cheap route, I'm sure you'll get a cheap voice actress. But if you want 100, I think that was like 111 words or something like that. I can't remember exactly. No, it was more than that. I can't remember what the word count was, but the lady that I hired, she had a certain price for a certain amount of word count. I kept it within that word count, and we did it.
And they usually ask do you want a dry reading or do you want it sweetened? You want to do your own work on it? And my word count was so low that they were like, I'm going to give you a bunch of readings of it different ways, and you can pick what you want. I'm like, that's perfect. I like it. Yeah. I think I ended up mixing it. Back to in the chat. Welcome back. Glad to see you here tonight. Now, listening to the video, I heard she watched Balor fall. That's Balor, Ireland, I would guess.
That's Balor is he is the self-appointed king of the Fomorians, actually, in Celtic legend. And Balor was cool because he had this eye. It kind of reminds me of something. It's just when I say it's gonna sound so like it's from like a mythological legend because he had this eye. Whatever he gazed upon would be destroyed.
Oh,
so if you notice in the trailer, she said she watched Balor fall to the hand of Lu. Lu had a bow that couldn't miss. So in the legends, which I've used that as like history in my universe, like these legends, if they were like actual history. So Lu shoots out Balor's eye, and it falls out and it destroys himself, and it turns and it destroys his entire army. But it also in EVERMATTER, I use that like it's in historical context, and it destroys Kira's world as well. So she was there, and so she's lost everything. She's lost her family, her friends, anything that she had that she cared about. She's lost in that battle.
So by destroying the character who had this all-powerful eye, it destroyed everything in turn.
Yeah, well, it destroyed that particular world. Yeah, the story is set in a galaxy, in our galaxy. So it destroyed everything it destroyed that planet basically.
Okay. It just stuck out to me because we had Greg Shane on last night with his book, The Rascals, and that issue was set in Balor. I'm like, what are the odds? 2 nights in a row, Irish themes in Balor all at once.
Yeah. It's he's definitely Irish. He's part of the pantheon of gods. So this pantheon of gods are warring with each other all the time, just like in any just like in Roman or Greek or Nordic mythology. They're always warring with each other.
What else do they got to do?
Yeah, they marry and they have children and they break off into different sects and sects. Not
okay,
sex.
They did both. They did both.
Well, they did that too, but they break off into the Tooth Day Dan. They break off into Fomorian, but the Tooth Day Dan turned the tide of battle because they gave mortal beings from different worlds this Evermatter, and they represent their worlds, but they also can live forever with that Evermatter. They bind their life force to it. So if they don't age anymore. They're still mortal. They'll die if they're cut or shot or whatever, but they stop aging, and they also receive a power from this Evermatter, and that allowed them to fight with the Tooth Day Dannon to defeat the Fomorians. The Fomorians were kind of erased from the galaxy, kind of just wiped out. But in Evermatter, Bind Corum, which is like the Gandalf type wizard type character, he made a mistake, a simple mistake that anybody would make, but it had chaotic consequences because that mistake allowed the Fomorians to make a resurgence, and now that's where Evermatter takes off. Is this resurgence of the Fomorians are starting to reappear, and Kira, she's out for revenge because they destroyed her world.
All right, so this is sort of like Celtic mythology meets Star Wars.
It is. I would consider it a space fantasy, space fantasy adventure, maybe. But yeah, it is. It's very. Like I said, I was using the Celtic legends as history, and those gods are still around. That big god, that god with the hammer on the front of the video, that's Dagda. He's like the godhead. He's like the father. He's like Odin. You'd probably most likely relate him to Odin, but okay. But these gods are still around, and and in the trailer, it says they ruled in peace. They ruled with peace, but it's made them fat and kind of lazy because they've kind of put down their weapons, and they've kind of, the galaxy's at peace because they have these what I call binds who have the Evermatter. They represent and they protect their worlds, and everything's just going great until Bind Coral makes a mistake and throws everything out of whack, and the Fomorians, like I said, make a resurgence in the galaxy.
Now it's Kira's job to put everything right, or at least.
Well, yeah, it is. It's the whole group's job, but Bind Corum and Kira, they have to work together. They wind up having to work together in this. She's really upset at him because she's got a real bit beef with him because she feels like that he betrayed everyone. He's the one that brought all this upon the galaxy. And but they're forced to work together. So he's looking for redemption, she's looking for revenge, and it's just they have a lot of tension between those two characters.
So now they're all on other worlds, or they had another world. They don't now. But you got Bind Corum, who's lost his power because his Evermatter blew up on him. Bind Kira, without a world, and Gary, a quick-witted alien.
Yeah.
Why Gary?
Gary is my. He's kind of the comic relief, He's got this quick wit, and he's got this. He's down there with that Gatling gun, and he's got this look on his face like he's just ready to. He's ready to fight. But yeah, Gary is my comic relief. He's the guy that's like, you know what? We could just we'll just throw this stuff together, and we'll make this. We'll make this bomb, or we'll make this getaway, engine or something that's super fast or whatever. But
he's like a master builder.
He is like a master builder. I got to think about it. He's kind of like Rocket Raccoon in Guardians of the Galaxy. Where Rocket Raccoon gets thrown that gun. I've been saying it on several streams, but like where he gets that gun and throw it to him, and it's in slow motion. He grabs the gun out of there, and he's like, "Oh yeah." That's Gary's attitude. He's most happy when he's shooting things, blowing things up, causing trouble in general. He thinks he's infatuated with humans. He's based off the gray aliens, his people. He's infatuated with humans. Their people's just naturally infatuated with humans, infatuated with Earth. So he's got that jacket on, that Maverick Tom Cruise jacket, because he thinks he's the best pilot in the galaxy, and he knows it, and he thinks he's the Maverick. So
and that's what he should wear.
yeah, so he gets these TV broadcasts, from Earth, and watches them, and he's just got all these and he goes back to he's stuck in the 80s kind of, because by the time the broadcasts get to him, it's the old broadcast. So he makes some not blatant, but he makes some Miami Vice references and some Top Gun references, and
so he's a little out of date.
Yeah.
Behind the times here, but Earth does figure into your story, because they do go to Earth after all this action to conscript somebody. And for those who don't know what the word conscript means, it's a big fancy word. It means you're drafted. Yeah.
Yep. Conscript. Yep. You're drafted into a war that maybe you wasn't even aware happened, and that's exactly where the smaller girl that it looks like the whole gang's around her. They're kind of protecting her from these bad guys. She is the conscript. That's Esme, and she's a lot more. In the description up there, she says she's more than what they expected, and she is, because she's found herself in possession of this piece of EVERMATTER, and she goes on the hero's journey. She's not sure about herself. She's not sure who she is really. She's not sure how to defend herself or how to use this. So she's basically a sitting duck out there for all these people in the universe and all these bad guys that want to take that piece of EVERMATTER from her.
Now, when you say she goes on the hero's journey, are you referring specifically to the classic step-by-step Campbellian?
The classic hero's journey. It's a writing trope. Basically that people use. Yeah, but it works, and she grows, she learns, she loses, she defends, and she becomes something more than what she is now. She grows from her losses.
That's why Luke Skywalker was such a hit with everyone, because George Lucas basically said, yes, you have the presentation of the quest, the denial of the quest, the murder of the confrontation with the father. All of that stuff is in there.
Yeah, she's a great character, and I can't wait to develop her through books. Like I said, I have book 2 written, but 3, 4, and 5, I can't wait to develop her, and I definitely can't wait to there's an explosive ending, and I when I write, I go ahead and get the ending. I want to have that ending there, so I have a goal to go to, and man, I'm just like I'm like a train pushing for that ending, because I want to get there, but I gotta start getting some funds, to produce the books. So that's why the crowdfunding.
How many books do you think it will be before you get to that explosive ending?
That would be in book 5, but okay. I have enough content. I could, as long as people were interested, I have enough content that I could just keep going. It's just but book 5 is as far as I've got planned out. In other words.
All right. Herrenberg in the chat has asked us. Well, he's asking, and he's saying, great use of Celtic mythology. Usually you hear something about Tir na Nog or maybe the Morrigan, but there's a lot more here. Are you going to incorporate the Fianna, the legendary warriors?
Well, I'm looking up Fianna now, because I am not.
No, at this moment.
I'm looking it up now because I don't have anything in the book concerning them at the moment. But like I said, I've got to book 5 planned out, and after that, who knows? Where it takes me, because I've learned about the characters. I've studied the characters that I'm using from Celtic mythology. I hadn't really dove any deeper than those characters, like Lou, Baelor, Dad, Eru, the Morrigan. I know a little bit about what everybody knows about her, because she's used in every. She's kind of a very popular character, but.
Well, they tie her a lot to Morgan Le Fay too, from Camelot, and.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
I was going to say that, and the book isn't only limited to, this series isn't only limited to Celtic mythology. that's just basically the history. So there are other legends, legends and stories that are incorporated through history too. So it's kind of like a retelling of retelling of historical legends and why and how they connect to the universe and the galaxy that I've created.
So these are all Celtic gods from another planet, but they've been to Earth before. We've met them. That's why they're part of our mythology and our history.
That's correct. So if you could imagine it as kind of like they're ruling over all of the galaxy. So they've been to our Earth and they've been to other Earths. And what has happened is, thousands of years ago they had that battle, and they selected one being from each planet, each habited planet, and they made them what they call a bind, because they bind their life force to this EVERMATTER. And that person represents that being, or that person represents their planet. So it's kind of like and then every decade or so they have what they call the Council of Binds. They come together, and this is not all in the book. It's just kind of backstory. But they have a Council of Binds. They come together and they talk about intergalactic politics, and they talk about those beings are also charged with defending their planet. So at the moment of EVERMATTER, the outer rim is starting to see the resurgence of these Fomorians, but the populated inner rim of the galaxy, where there's more populated planets, they don't really believe what the planets on the outer rim, the representatives from the outer rim, are saying, because they can't see it for themselves. They just these every decade or so, everybody travels to this what I call the binding chamber. It's the Temple of Binds.
They go to Coruscant.
Yeah, basically, and they talk about and they're telling them, look, this is happening. This is affecting our worlds, and they don't believe it really, because, like I said, they can't see it for themselves until something bad happens, in the more populated area, and there's a catalyst.
That's classic storytelling. It's everyone ignores the threats of Cassandra or Jor-El until oh shit, it happened.
Yeah. This might be a big deal. We need to do something.
So if they're going to Earth to draft this new bind, and they're doing this after Corum has lost his power. Was Corum previously the Earth representative?
Well, the Earth may or may not have been invited to this. Corum has a relation to Earth, but not necessarily the Earth's representative.
Okay.
Possibly.
This looks like it's possibly. He's from Sector 24.
You're digging too deep. We gotta leave some for the book.
I got you. So at first I was thinking, all the Celtic mythology, this is in the ancient past, and I saw the spaceships. Oh no, this is the future. But it's looking more and more like this is today.
This is today.
It's like Galactica 85. They just, everything converged on Earth today, and this poor girl in the center here is like ancient gods and aliens from that. This is Thor with Irish, with better accents.
Yeah. And you got this. If you look, if you scroll up or down in the featured tier, you see this. You can kind of see the print back there of Gary, and you can see the guy kind of filming him. So you can see that they have cell phones, and it's modern day.
Oh yeah. Now we should actually look at some of these tiers. We're halfway into the show, and we haven't tried to sell your book. Jerry.
Okay, well let's let's do that. Okay.
And yes, it is kind of like Stargate. I think Erlenberg. The whole ancient gods thing were actually aliens. It's Stargate. It's Thor. It's it's EVERMATTER. It's EVERMATTER.
We have the sorry.
$45 here for the collector's tier, and this is the 32 page book.
Okay, yeah, about that. You get and now you're getting a 32 page book. You're getting 6 pages from book 2. You're getting a pinup gallery, and you're getting some production art that brings that page count up to 48 pages.
Yeah, the 6 pages from book 2. Is that the first 6 pages, or just a random center 6 pages?
That's That's going to be the first 6 pages. So
Great.
you'll have a
Let me
preview
join
of
in.
where they're going. Yeah, and then you're getting the 11/7 on this tier. You're getting the black and white artist edition, which is just the inks, no lettering, no anything. So if you're one of those kind of people that don't like the lettering messing up the art, that'll be something for you. You're getting
That's like a virgin. I've seen the virgin covers, and this is one of them because it's got no EVERMATTER at the top of it. But this is virgin pages. This is just the art.
Yeah, that's just the inks. Yep.
No word balloons even.
No word balloons. No lettering whatsoever. It's just the art.
And then you
got the 11x17 print of Gary. He's like I said, he's into Top Gun. He finally got him some aviators there, so he's putting on his aviators, and the guy's filming him because he ain't never seen an alien before. But my Southern is coming out. He ain't never seen. But I got the and then you also get your book shipped first. Whoever buys the featured tier, we got to prioritize getting them boxed up, boarded up, and shipped out first. And then you got your name in the book as a thank you.
That's a very cool package. And by the way, folks, there's not a lot of tiers on here, so it stays very, very simple. There's not this whole, do I want to get the stickers or the T-shirt or the baseball cap? I love those things too. We had them on the show last night. We had not last night, night before last with Confederate Monster. I'm going from Southern to Irish back to Southern Irish here. I'm on a roll, Jerry. I'm just.
Well, this is my first campaign. As soon as I get some experience fulfilling, I may add. I might. I see cups out there. I see hats out there. I see T-shirts out there. As soon as I get some experience fulfilling and when this book is completed, then I may add some other stuff.
Yeah, it's never stuff you want to put on your first campaign because it's stuff that you can trip up on. First campaign, you want to get the book in people's hands.
That's exactly my thoughts.
I guarantee you, second campaign will go so much faster and so much higher when people say, "Oh, this is his second one, and he's already done one before." I see that happen all the time with second and third campaigns. They just fulfill faster, and people will go back and who didn't back the first campaign, and they'll pick up, oh, he's got a tier where I can get a copy of number 1 and 2 together. So you'll see a lot of pickup from there. If you just need the digital copy, we have folks who are working abroad. They can't carry their white boxes with them. We have people who can't afford the international shipping. This is the thing to get, $10 for the digital copy. Obviously, there's no shipping cost on a digital copy, so it's just flat out the $10.
Flat out $10. And every tier, I don't know if I've already mentioned it, but every tier comes with a digital copy. So if you buy a physical copy in whichever tier you buy it in, don't go back and buy the digital copy as well because it comes with it. And I don't want people to to double up if they got to, because some people were telling me that they travel some, they don't want to have to take, they want the physical book, but they want the digital copy as well because they don't want to have to take the book with them. So
yeah. Absolutely, and it looks like it doesn't say it in the description, so correct me if I'm wrong, because it just says you get conscript digital, but it looks like you get the print, the Gary print.
Yeah, you get a high res graphic, file of the Gary print. So if you live overseas, you'll be able to print that out for yourself. Go to Sign Shop or Print Shop or something like that.
Oh, excellent. I've never heard anybody say, yeah, you can go print your own copy of one of these things for us. Usually it's like, yeah, I'll sell you the print. No, don't print it yourself. That's bad.
Yeah, well, it's, the shipping is so much overseas. It's so much in the UK and everything. And I don't know. I don't want people pirating my book, obviously, but are you hearing the echo or is it just me?
I hear it when it comes back to me a little bit, faintly.
Okay.
It's not sticking out to me.
Okay.
Shipping is horrible, especially overseas, and it affects them the same way coming here. If you're buying books in the United States from overseas, which is why we went into the logistics business, Jerry.
Yeah.
We now have UK people drop ship all their books just here in one shipment because it's easy. It's cheaper to ship one box than it is to ship 100.
Yeah, that's correct.
Then we break them out and ship them out, and that's our new line of business here. For folks who do want to get the paper copy and the digital copy that will come with it, you get it for $15. It's a 48-page book. 2 pages story, 6 pages of the next book. So you'll be, you'll get that teaser that will cause you to say, yeah, put a pin in this one because I want to watch for that next campaign to come up here.
The tiers already had backers when I made the change to the 48 pages, so I can't change the tier. It won't let you. Indiegogo won't let you change the description once you have a backer. So, but you do get the 48-page book, and you get the digital copy.
Now, this says it's the limited white cover. Is that the Is that the only cover with this campaign, and there'll be like a second print cover sometime later on?
That's the only cover that comes with this campaign right now. I just got off a private stream with Kristen Acevedo at $8,000. If we hit the $8,000 stretch goal, we're going to add a villain cover, and you'll be able to get that as an add-on at that point.
All right, man. Preston had him on the show too, and he is he's a machine for cranking out covers and prints for other people.
I just got off with him before I talked to you, and I didn't have time to go back and change the stretch goal, so it doesn't show down there, but by tomorrow it will.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Stretch goal $8,000. Preston Acevedo cover becomes available. So we got to get that. Got to get this thing built up.
And if you've already backed, you'll get a secret perk to get it for cheaper, and it'll also come with no shipping.
Awesome. Now, if you still want to get that Gary print with your book, you get that and still the digital PDF version for $25 plus the shipping. That would be the way to go here for me, I think, because you get that 11x17 print. I'm starting to pick up prints all the time now. I just can't not. They're too good.
Yeah.
Now, who's the artist again? Who's doing the print on this? Because
it's the same guy that's doing the artwork and the sequentials in the book. It's Carlos Trigo, and you can find him at Carlos Trigo on Twitter. And he's very what's his name? Bill Tim Travasky type art.
Oh, Bruce Tim.
Bruce Tim. I'm sorry, I said Bill. Yeah, Bruce Tim and Gendy Travasky, who did Clone Wars. He's the animator on Clone Wars and Samurai Jack and some shows on Adult Swim.
Got it. Yeah. So you can get the book and the print for $25, or you can get the book and the artist edition book for $30.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So very simple, very direct.
And that's it. That's all of them. So there's not a whole lot to clutter it up. It's very easy to make the choices here. I love that he's got the sticker. He's got the Maverick sticker right there on his.
Yeah. He's got a little piece of alien tape or duct tape or something there, and he got Maverick on it. He loves what he's doing right there. He's shooting things, blowing things up, and the cool thing about Gary is he modifies things. So he has made these Gatling guns that are unique to his ship, and they use ballistic weapons. Well, most ships in the galaxy, there's a few that against ballistic weapons, but most of the ships are like laser weapons or plasma weapons or weapons like that. So they don't really have the defenses to defend against those ballistic weapons. Well, Gary's fascinated with art, so he watches a lot of old westerns and a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, no one uses real guns anymore. It's like I used to joke with my friends about, the X-Men, this was the 90s. The X-Men are going into battle. Let's laser this and laser that. We've got heat shields and deflector shields. What if one guy just pulls out a revolver? Oh, my God, he's got a gun.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going for. Like, you got all these, plasma shields or whatever, and somebody pulls out a spear and just kind of tosses it through the shield.
I can almost figure that he's, pushing down on the buttons going, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Because he obviously said he's just such a big fan. Now, who is this? I don't think we've talked about this person.
I don't talk about her because it's kind of a surprise at the end of the book. I think anybody that digs deep into legends and history and myths, I know who she is, but it is kind of a reveal at the end of the book. But she is who?
It's Queen Mab, people. It's Queen Mab. You can neither confirm nor deny.
I'm not. What was the saying? I will neither confirm nor deny. But she's pulling the strings behind the scenes. And the thing about it is she's after Esme because she's got that EVERMATTER. You can bind yourself to more than one piece.
Ooh.
But if that crystal is destroyed, then you would die. Like say if she took Esme's EVERMATTER and she destroyed the crystal, Esme would die. But if she bound her own life force to it, her and Esme were both bound to it, then neither one of them could ever destroy that piece of EVERMATTER because they would both be killed. So that's
okay, so you can bind yourself to more than one piece of EVERMATTER, and one piece of EVERMATTER can be bound to more than one person.
That's right. But you have to have that. Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts, but it's kind of simple. Once you're you have to have that crystal in possession to use your power. In other words, like if she just snatched it off Esme's face, she went somewhere in private and she bound herself to that, Esme wouldn't be able to use her powers because she didn't have possession of the crystal.
But she'd still live.
But she would still live. So go ahead.
So you could have like this crystal get passed around the bad guys here. So here you go, just do the binding, guys. Okay, we can all go out and fight now. We're good to go. And one person, sneaks in, and one farm boy and an X-wing fighter, just kind of pokes that crystal, and everybody just drops dead.
You could, but there's the power element at play. So, like, say she takes Esme's crystal, she wouldn't share it because she wants to have the power for herself, and she wouldn't want anybody to challenge her power, from her own side. Also, she wants those crystals so that she can become the most powerful being in the universe, basically.
So I'm guessing the more crystals you get, the more power you amass. Each one comes with its own bit of power.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like a play on Highlander where there can only be one. So she would most likely kill Esme and take that crystal. But Esme, she can't defend herself, but she has friends.
She's collecting infinity stones.
Yeah, kind of. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, basically.
So here's all the features re-talked about. Again, this is not a 32-page book anymore. It's a 32-page story plus a 6-page story plus some pinups. You're going to get 48 pages. Is the artist edition going to stick to being the 32-page, though?
The artist is going to be the original 32-page story.
That just makes sense to do that. Keep that. And then here's the 11 by 17 print. Gary is putting on his shades, and
and you got that guy there is a full shock. I've never seen an alien. The real, they've landed.
Oh, and he's getting the $5 aviator glasses, the kind you get at the roadside stand that sells the concrete animals for your garden.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Every perk you buy comes with the digital one, except when you buy the digital one, you don't double up. What are you gonna do with 2 copies of it? And then we got some great interior artwork here from Carlos. This is this is very much like what you were saying about the Adult Swim, the Bruce Timm kind of stuff. Very clean lines, very angular kind of geometries.
Yeah, definitely.
This could I can see this getting animated at some level here.
The stretch goals have changed as well. We're not close to the stretch goals yet, but when we do get close, like I said, the 8,000 perk, the villain stretch. What will happen is the villain card will go down to if you scroll down just a little bit.
Okay.
At $8,000, I'm sorry, I'm skipping. Let me start from the beginning. $6,000, everyone gets a full color 11 by 17 print of Kira by Carlos.
Got it.
$7,500, we give Carlos a bonus. At $8,000 now, you will get this will change tonight. You'll see it reflected tomorrow. But you'll get $8,000. You'll get the villain cover becomes available from Preston Acevedo. That villain card will move down to the set of 4. So you'll at 10,000 instead of 10,500, you'll get a full set of 4 trading cards.
Okay. And one of those will be, now when you say the cover becomes available, that means there's going to be another version of the book for sale.
That's right. It'll be an add-on for you. But I have to hit that $8,000 to be able to do that.
Yeah, well, Preston's work is expensive, and it's expensive because it's good. So
yeah, it's worth it's definitely worth what he charges for his artwork, and it's definitely worth it. It's just he does have to charge for his time, and any artist worth his salt deserves to get paid.
Absolutely. And then you got at the $15,000 level here, you'll have 4 bonus full color pages. So there's a possibility here that this could go from 48 to 52 pages.
That's right. At $15,000, you'll get a 52-page comic with in the 4 bonus pages details that battle we were talking about earlier between Lou and Baylor and the destruction of that world, and how Kira was able to live through that.
Very cool. Now, did you decide to do this as a comic book recently? I mean, I know we talked early on in the stream about how it would translate better for your story that you're wanting to tell to get it in comics. But what role did the rise of crowdfunding have on your decision? Are you still there, or did you freeze up? I think Jerry's internet just froze on him. If he blinks, he's faking me out. Jerry, you're froze. Oh, dear. Well, we will continue talking and see if Jerry comes back to us here. Jerry is in a hotel. Jerry has been doing some emergency work in his line of business and is in a hotel because of an ice storm. It could very well be that the ice storm has taken Jerry's power out. Goodness, I hope that's not the case. It would be a very cold hotel if that happens. Yes, okay, yes, Jerry has finally disconnected. We will see if he comes back here in just a moment. Folks, this looks like a very cool book, and it sounds like there's a lot of story going on in here. Artwork is well done. It sounds like Jerry's got his plot together here. I'm going to reload this just to see if we've had anybody pop in on this. I would not be surprised because it looks like a book worth popping in on, but I would be surprised because it has not gotten popped in on. So we are still at the 1065, and Jerry is back. Well, I thought maybe the ice storm took your power out.
No, the hotel decided it was time to update the internet. You have to re-log in. So at 7:49 for some odd reason. Been there,
done that. Understand the frustration. Yes, you get to go to the home page all over again and enter your little. Yeah, I hate that.
that's what happened to me. But yeah, I found crowdfunding after I decided to go with the comic. So, it was good timing because crowdfunding is where it's at right now. Now, I've been working on this story for a couple of years. I started fleshing it out about a year ago, and then Carlos, I got the script to him, and we've actually been slow rolling the art because after I decided to go with the crowdfunding scene, I decided, I need to amass some kind of audience because, it don't matter if you build the greatest cathedral there is, if nobody ever sees it, it's not you haven't done anything. You build a great cathedral, but nobody can enjoy it but yourself. So I decided to try to get my Twitter following up and try to get an audience and make connections in the crowdfunding scene. So that I could get this book out here. Now, I've made a lot of good friends, man. I'll tell you, Jay Lee has been on every stream, been supporting me every step of the way. He's been pushing the book on Twitter. A lot of the guys have, and it's just it's great to have that support and that there's people behind you.
I had to look at the chat to see Jay Lee because I'm thinking, really, Dynamite Comics, Jay Lee is really pushing this book. You should have more backers than this man.
Yeah.
Wrong Jay Lee. John De La Rose in the chat. Welcome, John. Good to see you out there, man.
Hey, John, how's it going?
I was just trying to impress people while you were relogging back in that they should be jumping on this because this is a fixed goal, folks. And if that means, if he doesn't reach the $5,000 goal, this isn't flexible goal. He can't just do it anyway.
Yeah, I just went from because I've upped the page count to 48 pages. I went from having a little money left over after printing and everything to do the second book because that's what the money was going towards. So now printing costs can be a little bit more. So yeah, I really need to hit that goal. To make it a reality.
Now, what pushed you towards a Celtic Gaelic kind of setting here? I mean, is there history in your own personal? Okay,
so I'll start from I do like a chunk in Goonies, and I'll start from the beginning. There was this movie. It was called Clash of the Titans, and it got me infatuated with like Celtic, not Celtic, but mythology in general. Greek mythology, Roman mythology, and then of course Nordic mythology with all the Marvel movies and everything. Right. And my mom got on Ancestry.com. I know this is going to sound like sound kind of cheesy, but my mom got on Ancestry.com and we found out, our family is from Ireland. Most of my bloodline is from Ireland, and I got to looking, and I found this Celtic mythology, and I started diving down these rabbit holes, of stories and legends, and I'm like, man, why hasn't this been explored more? Because you don't see a whole lot of it. You do, but it's kind of watered down, and a lot of those legends have crossed over to different mythologies, steal and take from each other. Yeah. And but you lose a lot of it from that. And you also The Slain is a book that focuses on Celtic mythology, but you don't see a whole lot of it. And I thought, man, these stories are like gold, dude. Somebody needs to really just dig in and put these out there and kind of introduce people to this whole trove of I know some people have, obviously, but there's a whole trove of stories and legends out there that people haven't really been introduced to, mostly because the Marvel's just in Thor and Odin and Loki. And
yeah, the Olympic Pantheon has a much better marketing team.
yeah, it's kind of like what is it, Cranberry? I heard a guy talk about Cranberry. He said, man, that Cranberry's got a good marketing team. It's in everything. You got Cranberry Apple, Cranberry Grape, Cranberry. But yeah, the Olympic Pantheon has a better marketing team, definitely.
Their PR is just like you just everyone knows who Zeus is. Fewer people know who Jupiter is, though. So I guess the Greek ones pulled it off a little bit better.
Yeah. Jupiter, Mars, and all those guys. You don't hear much about them.
Because we think of the planets now. We're like,
yeah, it's been it's kind of like they stole an identity, get your identity stole, so nobody knows who they are, or what they're named from.
We gave our name to this thing, and now this thing is more famous than we are.
I don't even know if they teach any of that in school anymore. Oh, do they? They teach classic mythology and literature, and do they even teach literature? No, I'm not going to go there.
Well, why? Why would they? I mean, they quit teaching cursive because nobody writes; they text. Why would they teach literature? Because nobody reads anything that's not spelled out phonetically on a texting board. Yeah. And you'll just FaceTime with somebody anyway, or watch the movie on your device, because the movies are going straight there now anyway. Writing literature may become a lost art, man.
Yeah, I agree. I think good literature is becoming a lost art. I'm going down this hole here about this. I think good stories are out there. It's just they're hard to find, and I think the indie scene is where they're at. I think these indie books. I think that's where you're going to get those good storylines combined with the good art. To make good comics.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know where that's going to leave the comic stores, because they're if they can't start selling more of the, and I guess they're still selling Marvel and DC. I mean, they must be, right? They're still open, so somebody's buying this crap.
Yeah, well, whatever form it takes, whether it's Indiegogo may just be the catalyst, but whatever form it takes, it's going to be direct to customer. I'm sure of it. It's just like Amazon is direct to customer. When you go into a furniture store now and you find a couch you want to buy, you think you're going to load it up on the truck, take it home, but they're like, okay, we'll get it ordered for you.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it's going.
I think you're right. And I don't. That's something I may have to talk about this Saturday night on the LCS Guys show. We have a show every other Saturday with 4 store owners from around the country, and we just talk about store issues with them. Started it off when COVID hit and they couldn't open, just to see how they were dealing with the pandemic and keeping the business afloat. But this goes beyond the state telling you not to open your doors. This is now you're carrying product that nobody wants.
Yeah, and you can get it right out of the creator's hand. Where else can you go that you could say, I want to buy a copy of Harry Potter and it comes straight from J.K. Rowling.
This is true. Now there's still a bit of the hurdle of scalability of price. I mean, we're seeing that with crowdfunding. If DC Comics were to raise their books to $10 a cover, we'd raise holy hell.
Yeah.
When you do it direct to a consumer from crowdfunding, it's like, oh yeah, that's standard, that's normal. Plus, shipping on top of it, yeah, too, no problem.
You're right.
We have to get to a point where whether or not we're working with printers or something, where it's like, yes, we can print 1,000 copies as cheaply as we can print 100, and we crowdfund 100, and we print 1,000, and then we have something to distribute to retail stores that can get out. Now, whether or not,
I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that would kind of impede the crowd. The crowdfunders would have to get something over and above the book itself. Then at that point, probably the art prints and stuff like that, or the signatures, something that would differentiate it from whatever would be going out to a more lower cover price for the retail stores to sell. I don't know. I'm not that smart how to figure this out.
I think part of where the draw to paying a larger amount for the books is because people know that it's a small print run. If you get if you're making 1,000 books now, people feel like their book isn't worth as much, because they know that, indie creator, even if you do sell 1,000 books, like one of these big creators, that's still considered a small print run. Only 1,000 people in the world have that first print of that book. Yeah. So I think that's what a lot of the draw is to pay the higher cover price, for the books, at least, it's theory.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, because it is a smaller print run. Even so-called indie books that do make it to store shelves right now usually print more than 1,000 books. They, probably maybe 5, maybe up to 12,000. I don't know. You hit 18,000, you're starting to talk Batman numbers now, I think.
Yeah.
Well, Jerry, it's been a pleasure talking with you here, and I really think this is a good book that you're going to have some success with. I'm refreshing the screen now to see it. You haven't had any success with me, so I have not helped you out one bit.
Maybe in the future, no, you haven't wasted my night at all. Maybe I enjoy talking about it. I enjoy getting the story out there, and you never know who's watching now that might back later, or who's watched in the past thinking about backing, or who might watch in the future that back. So
we are up for we do keep all our videos out there. I never take anything down. So if you're watching this on the replay, folks, the link to EVERMATTER on Indiegogo is right down there in the video description. It's the very first line. Urge you to click on that and come over here and check out EVERMATTER. Scroll through the pages here. These are not high-priced tiers. In fact, the highest priced thing is the collector's bundle here, and for that you're getting a 48-page book that includes a 6-page preview of the next issue, so you'll have a jump start on it. You get the 32-page artist edition, which is all black and white, no word balloons, no anything. It's just the appreciation of the art, and the 11x17 print of Gary the Alien, getting all geared up in his Top Gun, plus the PDF of the book itself. So, for $45, that is your best deal. If you want to trim that down, the tiers below that will give you fewer items, not lesser items. They're still the same high quality item.
Yeah, that's definitely the featured tier. That's the way to go if you're going to if you have the means to get to back and you back at that level, then that's the way to go. You're gonna get the most bang for your buck.
Absolutely. Gary, we will make sure we get you back on here during your second 30 days on this, if you even need us after that point, because you know how these things, if you've heard people talk about their crowdfunding, it's always like, yeah, the first week was like whoop, and then it's like levels off, and then the last week is up again.
Yeah.
So you may get that spike there at the end, or you might have a really solid middle. You've been at this, you're about halfway into your first 30, yeah. So
yeah,
it's time to get things spiked again.
Yeah, if you need a guest, or if you I like talking comics, I like talking books, I like talking art. So just just holler at me. We'll do it again.
We always need a guest, man. In fact, if you are out there crowdfunding comics, we have the LCS guys show this Saturday when we have we have Yul Carter, we have Dave Dyer, Michael Tierney, and Brian Cook from Blast Beat in Austin, and our special guest for the week, being that it's the Valentine's show, is Comicsgate's sweetheart, Mandy Summers, will be here. Like, what? So you'll want to pop in and check us out. But if you want to push your own book, guess what? We have nobody scheduled after that. The calendar is empty. I turned my page to see what next week was, and I've been so busy with, day job stuff suddenly coming in that I didn't even write the days of the week down the side of the page to start scheduling people. Hit me up at Critical Blast on Twitter or email us at criticalblast@criticalblast.com. In fact, if you want to just, send us a Valentine's card or send us a self-addressed stamped envelope or one of our holofoil Critical Blast stickers, you can hit us up here at Critical Blast at 1097 Presswick Drive, Belleville, Illinois, 62221. And we'll send you out 2 of our 3-inch holofoil stickers. Give you one for yourself and one you can share with a friend. And we will,
Hold on. Can I answer a hero's question right quick?
Just
to give some support to the Mississippi comic shops. There's a place in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. It's called, because we fry everything in Mississippi, everything's deep fried. There's a place called Deep Fried Comics in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and that's the place to go if you need a comic book. That's kind of close to where I live. That's where I go. So
I was just in Hattiesburg. I told you I was, maybe maybe you don't know, folks, but RJ was without a day job for about a month and a half to 2 months there. And I was in Hattiesburg not 3 weeks ago looking at a position down there. So I've driven around in Hattiesburg. I didn't have time to look for a comic shop.
We would have been neighbors if you had moved over there.
Well, it was this close, but I got back home, and before they could make a move, the place I'm working at now, threw me a line, and I'm like, "Yep, I'm not waiting for nobody else. I'm taking the first one that comes along," and I got a good one, so I'm happy with it.
It may be Southern Fried Comics. I don't know. I don't ever look at it when I go in. It could be Hero. Is it Southern Fried Comics or is it Deep Fried Comics? I'd have to look it up, but it's I think there's a question on the name of the shop. Hold on.
Yeah, well, you can look it up. I've got Google right here. Hattiesburg Deep Fried Comics. And it comes up with Hattiesburg Southern Fried Comics is closing December 30th.
That's it. Yep.
Well, that's an old story.
No, I think they've reopened.
Yeah.
If they've closed, they reopened because they were open the other day.
Yep.
They may have moved buildings or something.
They're there. All right. Jerry, thanks for coming. Folks in the chat, glad you were here. We do not have a show without you. We always appreciate you popping by. And as always,